So today, we got to talk about Floyd Mayweather Jr. because this situation right here, yeah, it's getting messier by the hour, you guys. Now, allegedly, Floyd has just welcomed what people are calling his fifth child. And according to the reports, this was not something he supposedly wanted at all. And honestly, some people are already saying this could explain why he keeps teasing a return to boxing again. Because lately there have been non-stop whispers about legal drama, money problems, and all kinds of financial issues floating around his name. But this story right here, oh, this one takes the whole cake. No, seriously, y'all didn't hear what exploded online today? Because when I saw this headline, I already knew the internet was about to lose it. A few hours ago, TMZ dropped an exclusive claiming Floyd Mayweather fathered a child with a dancer connected to his Las Vegas strip club. And according to those reports, he's now been ordered to pay nearly $1 million in back child support, on top of around $33,000 every single month for the little girl. Now tell me that doesn't sound like one of those have a baby by me baby, be a millionaire situations people joke about online. Because woo, social media immediately started going off over those numbers. TMZ says the child support ruling stems from a relationship Floyd allegedly had with a dancer working at his club, and the court documents reportedly laid everything out in black and white. So not only is there close to $1 million owed from the past, but there's also that monthly payment still rolling in every single month. And listen, some people out here already figured out which states supposedly keep celebrity child support payments lower, especially places like Texas. They know exactly how the system works, allegedly, and they try to move accordingly before the paperwork even starts flying. But in Floyd's case, yeah, this situation looks completely different. At this point, people online are saying Floyd has absolutely lost the plot. The man is pushing 50 years old, and folks are wondering why he's still caught up in this kind of chaos and controversy. Court documents reportedly show that back in March 2026, a judge legally declared Floyd Mayweather Jr. the father of a 4-year-old girl named Price Mayweather. And according to TMZ Sports, the ruling officially confirmed paternity through the Nevada court system. The judge then reportedly ordered Floyd to pay around $32,850 a month in child support, plus approximately $933,000 in back payments, which means this child is now publicly being recognized as Floyd's fifth child altogether, you guys. The legal case itself reportedly started back in June 2023, when the child's mother, Paige Moorhead, petitioned a Nevada judge to legally establish Floyd as the father. At the time, the child was said to be about 18 months old after being born in December 2021. Now, Paige claims she and Floyd were involved in a long-term relationship that allegedly lasted around 8 years. And I'm sorry, but some people are side-eyeing that whole relationship label completely. Because let's be honest here, people have long accused Floyd of always keeping multiple women around him at the same time. So critics online are basically saying she may have been part of Floyd's rotation for years before everything fell apart. According to her claims, Floyd allegedly ended things after learning she was pregnant back in April 2021. Paige also claims Floyd pressured her into getting an abortion and eventually fired her from his girl collection club, where she reportedly worked for 4 years.
Now here's where the story gets even crazier, because despite allegedly being served multiple times and ordered by the court to take a DNA test, Floyd Mayweather Jr. reportedly ignored the entire situation until the judge finally stepped in with a default judgment. According to the documents, Floyd allegedly failed to respond altogether, which ultimately led the court to legally declare him the father. And get this, reports claim Floyd has only paid around $151,000 toward what he supposedly owes so far. Because of that, the judge reportedly ruled that Paige Moorhead can place a lien of up to $2 million on California property connected to Mayweather in order to secure support for the child. This whole situation is honestly wild on every single level imaginable, but wait until we get into the 50 Cent trolling, because that part had the internet crying laughing. So apparently, 50 Cent jumped on Instagram and decided he could not resist taking shots at Floyd over the news, and the post reportedly read something like, "Congratulations, champ, beautiful baby girl, forget all the other nonsense," while tagging his liquor brands and business ventures at the same time. But listen, 50 absolutely missed the perfect opportunity here, because if he had added his own "Have a Baby by Me" song to that post, social media would have completely exploded. That would have been the ultimate finishing touch right there, no question about it. Still, people were already losing it over the screenshots, the Pampers jokes, and all the memes flooding the timeline. And honestly, the bigger issue here is deeper than just internet jokes. Because think about it, you own the establishment, you're the boss, and you're already in a position of power over the people working under you. Then reports claim you allegedly carried on an intimate relationship with one of your dancers for nearly 8 years. And according to the accusations, things only allegedly fell apart because pregnancy entered the picture. There are also claims that Floyd allegedly pushed for her to terminate the pregnancy, but she reportedly refused to go along with it. That decision is what supposedly led everything straight into the courtroom. What really shocks people is how long it allegedly took for this judgment to finally happen in the first place. Because this entire timeline is absolutely unbelievable. But Floyd, this is the part that really has people talking online. You reportedly already have a grandson who is around 5 years old, a whole grandson, and people cannot get over the fact that you're still caught up in this type of drama at this stage in life. It honestly feels like reckless behavior spiraling completely out of control. Because now you allegedly have a child who is only about a year younger than your own grandchild, and social media has been calling that situation absolutely insane. But at the same time, a lot of people are saying they're not even surprised anymore, because Floyd has spent years attached to the Vegas nightlife scene, constantly around clubs, parties, money, and entertainment culture on the Strip. Then he goes on to launch his own club featuring dancers and nightlife entertainment right in the middle of all that energy. And critics online are now saying there's no way this was the only employee Floyd allegedly got involved with over the years. People are assuming this is simply the one situation that became public because a child was involved. Either way, this whole thing has officially turned into a complete hot mess express. And honestly, what else can you even say at this point? From what most people know, Floyd Mayweather has never actually been married despite years of high-profile relationships. Now reports say he has 5 children altogether, after previously being publicly known to have 4. And throughout the years, viewers have watched him constantly surrounded by girlfriends, flashy lifestyles, and women connected to the so-called money team image.
But honestly, when it comes to Floyd Mayweather Jr., my biggest takeaway was never really about romance or family life. To me, Floyd always seemed more focused on the image, the luxury, the flashy lifestyle, and showing the world just how much money he could throw around. It was always the expensive jewelry, the designer everything, the stacks of cash, the entourages, and of course the whole money team persona. I never personally looked at Floyd as somebody trying to sell the image of being this devoted husband or perfect long-term partner. Instead, the perception always felt more like he enjoyed rotating women in and out of his life, showering them with attention for a while, then eventually moving on. And what's interesting is this kind of drama almost feels like the early blueprint for what we now see play out online with celebrities like Nick Cannon and Chris Brown. Nowadays, their baby mama situations spill all over social media, with people constantly fighting for position and attention publicly. But back during Floyd's prime years, social media was nowhere near what it is today. So back then, you kind of had to already be in the know to keep up with who was the main girlfriend, who had priority status, and who was currently around him. People who followed celebrity gossip closely probably remember those eras when Floyd was linked to Princess Eunice or later connected to Chantel Jackson, who also famously dated Nelly. And now people are wondering if Miss Jackson and Floyd are still somehow tied together behind the scenes. Because from the outside looking in, it almost seemed like there were rumors floating around that they reunited at one point. So now folks are asking whether she's still entangled in Floyd's world or if that situation already fizzled back out again. And if she is still involved, some people are wondering whether she's rationalizing this whole situation by thinking the child came before any possible reconciliation happened. Like maybe in her mind she's saying, well, technically I was still dealing with Nelly around that time anyway. Because let's be real, when you reconnect with someone like Floyd, you probably already know there's going to be baggage attached. Especially considering most people assumed Floyd was already done raising young children and entering a completely different stage of life. Now suddenly there's this conversation about him essentially starting over from scratch again as a father. And that raises another big question people keep asking online. Is Floyd actually going to be an active father in this little girl's life moving forward? Or is this going to turn into one of those celebrity situations where the checks get paid, but the emotional presence never really shows up? Some people are already comparing it to athletes and entertainers who only publicly embrace the children connected to their main relationship, while quietly supporting the others financially behind the scenes. But regardless of how it plays out, the whole situation just feels incredibly messy. And what really confuses people is how some of these wealthy celebrities continue having unprotected relationships while acting shocked when real-life consequences happen afterward.
That's why so many people keep calling this whole thing a complete hot mess express. And honestly, if Floyd truly never wanted this child in the first place, like some reports claim,
people are now questioning how involved he'll actually be long term. Because right now, it almost feels like this could turn into a situation where he simply sends money every month while remaining emotionally distant. Especially if these reports are true, that he allegedly spent years avoiding court appearances, dodging DNA testing, and delaying payments connected to the case.